Bentar, avatarku lupa. Bentar guys. Malah saya lupa munculin avatar. Tes. Bentar aku muncul. Cung. Oke. Yay. Aduh, panik ajaib. Maaf ya guys, tiba-tiba listriknya mati. Untung turun, gak mati lampu. Aku pindahan sebelah. Ya, welcome Morgan. Maaf ya guys ya. Nah, oke kita lanjut. Ini aku skip dulu ya. Kan tadi udah.
Aren't we at an administrative office space? Why don't you at least try to follow even a couple rules from the fortress's indoor management regulations?
What did you do to my sister?
I ran into the young miss.
Stop joking around! Where did you take—
I have all— Maybe she'll appear by—
Is he trying— You knew. As for Fremine,
there was no need to—
You removed our original members and spread the news of Child's escape so Father would assign our team to come down and investigate. Fremine has also fallen into your hands, right? If you're oh so omnipotent and—
One correction. Lynette is in my hands right now, but Fremine is not.
He's not.
Oh, wonderful. Everyone is here, so I'll only need to say eager and to the point, I see. Although as per—
Wait, you locked him—
I closed the fortress's gate to the outside world. That's all.
Fremine's—
No,
But why would I do this, you may be asking? To have an audience with you, of course. Besides, I do recall you mentioning to Miss Lynette that you've always wanted to have a face-to-face meeting with the—
So,
Some of my folk, I was willing to play Mr. Linney. You need do, but—
you want to see—
Well, I've heard that the bond—
Why did you think Father—
Oh,
Was this the extent—
you people are really odd. Mr. Linney,
Linny!
instead of ask— I gave you a warning, but Mr. Fremine— 6,
Wait,
2, time's up.
Risley!
Negotiations have broken down. Please—
Nah, tunggu dulu. Apa tidak ada yang bisa dibicarakan lagi?
Yeah, listen to the Traveler! If you can't talk to Linny, can you at least talk to us?
You do realize that I'm only letting you go because of Neuvillette, yes? You're here helping him out, and I've already done my best to stay out of your way. But that doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want. The fortress may be small and remote, but it still has its own set of laws.
Ya udah, aku mau tolong Freminet sama Lynette.
Then how about this? Those who are capable deserve respect. You've spent quite some time investigating my home turf by now, so why don't you tell me a thing or two about what you found, I'll ask you 3 questions. Answer all of them correctly, and I'll agree to your request. Question 1. Regarding the hidden rules of the production zone, what is the truth behind the one about not being allowed to work for 3 days in a row?
Akan ada daging aneh di jatah makan siang hari ketiga. Itu kita sudah selidiki semuanya sampai tuntas. Coba diingat lagi deh petunjuknya. Harusnya bisa ketemu jawabannya. Yang melanggar aturan zona tersebutnya akan dikasih daging aneh.
I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half hour just before lunch. But what could Sijuin be doing during that time? The Fanta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupons. Meanwhile, the Duke believes that only idiots who don't understand the value of coupons would spend them on Fanta. We often see Miss Sijuin observing the prisoners at work near the production zone. It seems like she can perceive the general state of a person's health just by looking at them. Fanta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged product. But the product has to undergo a trial because even Fanta's own employees have a lot of reservations about it. The research note said that the Melusine race perceives the world very differently from humans. Because of that, the Melusines have also developed a sense of aesthetics that appear rather... According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took place because...
Oh, tunggu.
I've been told that the infirmary is always empty. The Fanta promoter has been struggling.
Siapa yang bakal melihat jika kamu terus bekerja tanpa lelah?
I've been told that the infirmary is always empty. We often see Miss Sijuin observing the...
Sijuin gak sih? Dalam kondisi apa daging Anda akan
I've been told that the infirmary is always empty. The Fanta promoter has been struggling. We often see Miss Sijuin observing the prisoners at work near the production. Fanta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged product. But the research note said that the Melusine race... According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only took...
Ya, ini aku nggak yakin sih. Coba kita ada pertanyaan lain.
The research note said that the Melusine... Fanta's internal reports... We often see Miss Sijuin... The Fanta promoter has been...
Ini. Kebalik kayaknya.
The Fanta promoter has been... I've been told that the infirmary is...
Masa ini sih?
The research note said that the Melusine race perceives the... I've been told that the infirmary is always... I've been told that the infirmary is... The Fanta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value... The research note said that the... According to Collins, the Pancration tournament... I've been told that the infirmary is always... According to Collins, the...
Halo Neo, welcome to Namikai Channel. Semoga kau menikmati waktumu di sini. Bentar, mikir dulu. Dalam kondisi apa dagingannya muncul?
I've been told that the infirmary is always empty for the half hour.
Kenapa daging anehnya muncul begitu?
Fanta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an The research note said that the I've been told that the infirmary... The research note said that...
Bener gak sih? Kok salah mulu?
The research note said that the Fanta's internal reports suggest that...
Satu lagi.
I've been told that the infirmary is always empty.
Oh, gimana nih?
So that's what's going on. The hidden rule of the production zone.
Anjay.
People are not supposed to work 3 days in a row, and if they do, they'll get strange meat in their welfare meal. At first we thought this strange meat must have something to do with the people who disappeared, but in reality, they were all prepared by Sijuin, the head nurse. She often visits the production zone to observe the workers' health and makes a note of anyone who has worn themselves out after 3 full days of work. Out of her sense of duty as the head nurse, as well as her genuine concern for the workers' health, Sijuin visits the cafeteria right before lunch and cooks an extra dish for those who can use the stamina boost. Sijwin has only the best intentions with her surprise gift and doesn't want anyone to find out about what she does. However, unfortunately, Melusines as a race perceive the world differently from humans, and their sense of aesthetics is even more alien to us. The recipients of her lovingly prepared special meals cannot taste the care within and usually just freak out. Are we on the right track?
Not bad. You've uncovered Sijwin's secret and even guessed her intentions correctly as well. It's nice to know that her efforts have not gone unacknowledged. Alright, now for my next question.
Masih ada, dikira udah.
There are also some hidden rules in the Pancration Ring, including the one that you're not allowed to support both sides of a fight. Why is that?
I've been told that the infirmary...
Nggak.
Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged product.
Ini pasti nih. Oh, ini Fonta berarti bukan darah. Kenapa hanya orang-orang yang beli tiket untuk mendukung kedua pihak?
According to Collins, the Pancration tournament only...
Ini.
According to Collins, the Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't recognize the real value of coupons. Meanwhile, we often see Miss Sijwin... Fonta's internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an
Oh, ini harusnya ini. Siapa? Nah, kalau siapa tuh ini.
The Fonta promoter has been...
Oh, no. Berarti ketukar
According
tadi.
to Collins, the Pancration... The Fonta promoter has been struggling because...
Nah. Oh, yang merah tuh Fonta ternyata dikira. Yang kanibal-kanibal.
So there really was nothing to be afraid of. That hidden rule of the Pancration Ring is about how, people are not supposed to bet on both boxers at the same time. And if people get scared when they see it because they've subconsciously begun to associate it with the missing boxer. But really, it's just a bottle of the latest yet-to-be-named and packaged new Fonta trial product. A blood-red drink. It's no wonder even Fonta's own staff were questioning the company's decision-making. The company, facing backlash from its own staff, decided to try to trial the product on a smaller scale. To see how they came to the fortress of Meropide and offered to sponsor the Pancration tournament so they could push their new product. But the Duke completely refused to even entertain the idea. The Duke, knowing how valuable coupons are in the fortress, knew that only total idiots who didn't understand their true value would bother buying a Fonta product here. And so, only those who proved their stupidity by being dumb enough to bet on two opposing sides of the same match were selected to receive the drinks.
Ah, gitu toh.
I acknowledge the effort you've put into bringing the truth of this mystery to light. Although, based on your description, that Fonta promoter is a bit too careless with his words, I may just reconsider my collaboration with the company.
No, kok kita kayak memutus rezeki orang.
Alright, and here's the final question. What's the secret behind our head nurse and all of her patients in the infirmary?
Kita belum punya.
Stop your cruel and pointless games, Risley! You know that we haven't finished our investigation, so there's no way we can answer the last question. The thought of sparing Lynette and Fremine never even crossed your mind!
Line.
You'll pay for this!
Kenapa nih? Terus Rio, kamu senyumnya, ya ampun, mengalihkan duniaku Rio. Aduh, senyumnya ganteng banget.
Linny, are you alright?
Oh, kamu ditembak, Line. Oh ya ampun, maaf, Line nggak notice.
Oh, close one. I owe you, Sijwin. That was a fantastic shot.
It was nothing, Your Grace. Sijwin? Though this gun may look like a toy, it's actually fully functional, as I just demonstrated.
Lane. You.
Kamu komplotannya?
Not at all. I am merely a resident of the fortress, and thus protecting it is my duty. When Monsieur Nervulet asked me to come here, he told me that my job would be to take care of the well-being of everyone here. I am merely discharging my duties. But if you mean what you just said, then isn't Linny someone you should be looking after as well? Isn't he a resident here just like the rest of us?
Kenapa tidak belajar sedikit saja dari dia?
But I really am just doing what Monsieur Nervulet told me to do. Everything I did, I've done to protect them. Had I not, they would be in far more dire straits right now. His Grace knows it too, right? Your Grace? Mind proving my innocence to them?
My dear Sijuin, whatever shall I do with you? Would it have killed you to just wait another minute or two?
Well, it's nearly time after all. The way you do things can be truly frustrating sometimes, Your Grace. I figured I should try to talk some sense into you. What are you talking about? What time?
Take me if you want. Let them go.
How touching. Can you just give me one more minute?
Datar banget.
Don't be like that, Your Grace.
All right, everyone, calm down. 2 more visitors will be arriving any time now. I'll go get a cup of tea. Miss
Teh
Sijuin,
lagi.
I leave Miss Lynette in your care.
Teh lagi dong. Halo guys, Stellar, Andre, Rams, Raul, Nico, welcome back. Buset, Dalina ditembak malah fokus ke Rio. Maaf ya Nico, Neo. Habis Rio mukanya tuh mengalihkan dunia aku jadi piu senyum jahat. Enggak senyum jahat, itu mah senyum ganteng itu Andre Rams. Aduh, maaf ya guys, tadi ada kendala sedikit.
What are you doing?
Apa yang kalian lakukan?
I believe I hear footsteps.
Linet nih. Oh bukan!
Some space, please.
Klorin!
Ah, Miss Clarande. My door.
Diapain emang pintunya?
Fremine. Fremine.
Oh,
What's
bisa
going
berdiri
on?
lagi.
What is Clarande doing here?
Ya ampun guys, siapa yang mau narik Momi Klorin? Klorin tuh cantik banget sih.
Work.
Singkat, padat, jelas.
I'm sorry about shooting you, Mr. Linny. The tranquilizing effect will begin to wear off soon. Please take it easy in the meantime, though.
Iya, dimaafin kok. Aku maafin kamu kok, si Queen. Kamu loli yang bisa menjaga diri kamu sendiri. Keren kamu, si Queen. Mantap. Kamu bisa melindungi diri kamu dari para predator itu. Mantap, memang mantap sekali.
What happened to Fremine? Wasn't he diving just outside of the fortress? Why is he looking like this?
Gejala ini tidak mungkin.
A flushed face, an accelerated pulse. He must have consumed primordial seawater.
What did you say?
Please, make some space. I'll need to give Mr. Fremine a more thorough checkup. Your Grace, I'll leave the rest to you.
I'll talk to Clarande while you get Fremine to where he needs to be. Everything else can wait.
Oke. Ngeteh dulu, yoi. Emang Raul Stellar ini tuh si Rio tuh minta dikasih teh, jadi pengen ngasih ngeteh apa? Boleh ngeteh aja nggak sama kamu, Rio?
What's that look on your face? I thought I made good time on the way back.
Oh, Nico ngeincarnya ini ya, si Furina ya. Aku juga pengen si Furina. Gila, aku lihat leak-nya ya. Leak gameplaynya tuh mantep banget. Bisa lah, bisa. Setelah Rio bisa lah, grinding buat Furina.
Oh, I'm just admiring your punctuality. Had you arrived just a few minutes later, Sijuin may have been forced to shoot Mr. Linny again. How's the situation out there?
The water has changed. It's pretty much as expected. The concentration of primordial seawater has increased significantly. I was only out there a short time, so it wasn't too bad. But if one were to stay for any significant amount of time, well, you can see how that boy's doing.
Where was he when you found him?
The abandoned zone at the end of the pipes. A good distance into the water.
Closer than I thought. He must have recognized it early on and
Bentar ya,
tried
guys, minum
desperately
dulu.
to swim back.
Locking the door was necessary. I don't think we could have saved two.
Well, I did try to convince him that I had my reasons. Never seems to work, though.
It would probably work on Neuvillette. He has a knack for picking out who had good intentions, even when the outcomes were all terrible.
It's a bad sign if you're having to plead your case to Neuvillette.
Typo ya? Haris minta. Harusnya harus nggak sih?
Want some tea?
Mau dong, Abang Rio. Aku mau teh. Sebuah aja pengen. Iya gak apa-apa. Semua. Aku pengen kok semua karakter kalau bisa. Tapi nggak mungkin, itu mustahil, Raul. Pengen ini, pengen itu banyak sekali. Iyalah, siapa yang tidak mau Furina? Siapa yang tidak mau Momi Klorin? Siapa? Aku mau ngeteh sama Papi Arlecchino aja. Wah, Andre Rams, mimpi kamu ngeteh sama Papi Arlecchino. Dia aja ke Meropite aja nggak mau. Pasti Nawi pengen gelasnya Rio. Gelasnya Rio. Siapa yang tidak mau? Aku juga mau. Raul, aku juga mau. Mau ngeteh sama Rio. Kalau dapat gelasnya itu bonus. Aku juga mau.
Not particularly. If you want to drink some that badly, just say so.
Fine, I'd like to get some tea. Want me to get you a cup too, since I've already made it?
Aduh, maniak teh satu ini. Aduh, aku pengen. Boleh nggak kalau aku nikahin kamu, Rio? Nanti maharnya aku kasih sekotak teh aja ya.
Might as well then, I suppose. Actually, do you have a towel? I would like to dry my hair.
Next. Kita nguping lagi. Kali ini kayaknya jijik banget. Dia tidak rela Freminet dipegang si Queen, tapi dia diam saja karena memang Freminet butuh pertolongan pertama. Si Queen sedang meriksa Freminet, ekspresinya biasa saja. Berarti kabar baik nih. Semoga Freminet baik-baik saja.
How is he?
These symptoms are probably caused by an acute ingestion of a large amount of primordial seawater. Still, his condition is not critical. Of course, it would be best if he stayed for further observation. Let's leave him here for now, and move him to the infirmary once he's recovered a bit more. Sorry, I am aware that the infirmary may not be your favorite place in the world at the moment. We do only have a single clinic in the fortress, however.
Why would he ingest a large amount of primordial seawater after leaving the fortress? How could that possibly happen?
Please, look after Mr. Fremine for the moment. I'll go fetch some medicine and a respirator. Oh, I'll bring Miss Lynette back with me.
Where is she? How is she right now?
Oh, she just took a nap in an empty room after I tranquilized her. If my calculations are correct, she should also be waking up right around now. You might not believe me, but His Grace and I actually made some snacks and tea for her.
Teh lagi.
Linny, are you okay?
I'll be fine. They're all here now.
Are you sure? You don't look alright.
My hands and feet are still a bit weak, but that's probably just the residual effects of the tranquilizer shot.
I'm back, everyone.
Lenny! Oh, Traveler, Paimon, you're here too.
Kok beda banget nadanya kamu sama Line, kayak Line, tapi kayak Nami, Paimon. Datar amat, Bun.
Fremine? Is he...
He'll be fine. But for now, please help me lift him up.
Tapi kenapa nggak dibaringin ya si Freminet, ditaruh lantai dulu gitu? Kenapa malah didudukin? Aneh sekali.
His breathing's beginning to slow down.
Give me a hand and help me get him to the infirmary.
Tolong bantu deh.
Yeah, I'll take him from this side. Lynette, together?
On it. Traveler, you seem pretty worried about him. Want to come with us?
Aku pengen lihat trio lagi, boleh nggak? Tapi nggak boleh ya. Aku harus ke klinik ya. Ya udah deh.
The Duke and Clarande are gone.
They probably went to get some tea. The Duke will explain the truth in just a bit. Miss Clarande will need a break, since she only just returned from rescuing Fremine out of the sea.
Minum teh lagi. Chlorine menyelamatkan Freminet dari laut. Sebenarnya apa yang terjadi? Halo Dharma, welcome to Namikai Channel. Semoga kau menikmati waktumu di sini. Iya, tadi sempat meninggoy untuk kamu menemukan stream ini lagi. Jalan-jalan lagi.
No time to lose.
No time to lose. Naik lift lagi, nikmatin muka Tatang lagi. Sini mukanya, iya. Aduh ganteng banget sih ayang gue nih guys. Ayang pertama. Ntar ayang kedua di phase 2 gue dapetin. Semoga dapet. Enggak sih, pasti dapet lah. Salah.
He's awake. Fremine, how do you feel?
Lynette.
We're all here.
Where am I?
The infirmary, at the Fortress of Meripede, Mr. Fremine. And you are no longer in any danger.
How do you feel? Don't push yourself if you're not feeling up to it.
Traveler. Paimon. It's been so long. The sea. There's something wrong with the seawater.
Shh, it's okay. We can talk about it after you've recovered.
No, listen to me. This is really serious. There's primordial seawater mixed into the regular seawater. I don't know why it's there, but no one should touch it.
Apa yang terjadi setelah kamu masuk ke pipa?
Pipes. Right, the pipes. It's all coming back to me now.
Lah, Preminet emang bukan orang Fontaine. Kok dia nggak larut ya?
I'm in. Seems like this pipe hasn't been used in a long time. Where could Master Child be?
Oh, kita jadi Freminet, guys. Jatuhnya kejauhan. Buka.
This mechanism looks like it's been tampered with. Could he have done it? Yeah.
Oh, ini mekaniknya kayak mekanik game sebelah. Paham. Tapi enak sih, ini udah dikasih tahu petunjuknya, guys.
It's getting stuck on something. Seems like I'll have to avoid those obstacles while I turn it.
No. Coba untuk menyesuaikan sudut yang Oh. I see. Apakah benar? Nah, betul. Baru kita naikin lagi deh. Oh iya bener juga ya Neo, karena nggak pure ini ya, primordial ya. Kecuali dia bener-bener murni tuh baru bisa larut. Nah itu sih aku awalnya mikirnya kayak lo kok nggak larut, bukannya harusnya dia langsung larut. Tapi bener sih, make sense yang Neo bilang sih Raul. Karena dia air lautnya kecampur sama air biasa, jadi kayak khasiatnya tuh nggak efektif buat ngelarutin orang. Serem amat ya. Orang bisa larut gara-gara minum air doang.
This is where the water starts. Okay. Master Child probably dived into the water. I'll go take a look as well.
Kita tenggelam dulu. Wih. Sumpah kalau di bawah laut tuh satisfying banget gak sih guys? Nah kenapa aku lebih suka jalan-jalan di bawah laut daripada di daratan?
And recently, there are traces here too. I need to keep going.
Let's go.
The traces are gone, but I don't see where he could have gone from here. Wait, what the? My heart is racing, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe. What's going on? No good. I have to get back. They still don't know anything about what's going on. If I turn back right now, I should still be able to make it.
Aduh, kita harus balik. Next update, eksplorasi ke langit. Wah, bisa tuh. Kain Ria nggak sih? Yang kayak gitu. Kain Ria nggak sih? Eksplorasi ke langit apa Celestia? Celestia.
I can't die here. This is bad. I'm feeling worse and worse, and I'm still underwater. I have to push on.
Chlorine, go mami go. Go mami Chlorine go. Ayo selamatkan Fremi.
So, in other words, the trail you were following vanished, and you had no idea where Master Child could have gone, but there was also no obvious place for him to have disappeared to.
That's right. I tried my best to swim back, but I had already put some distance between myself and the fortress, and I just couldn't find the strength to keep going.
Miss Miss Clarand brought you back, but we also don't know why she just suddenly appeared at the fortress, or why she went out to save you.
Miss Clarand, you say? I must go thank her in person.
You're still too weak, Fremine. You can go after you've had some more rest. Miss Lynette is right. I believe Miss Clarand will stay here as a guest for another few days, so there's no need to hurry.
A guest? Then I can assume Risley was the one who invited her to come down here?
You should ask His Grace about that. He'll be able to explain better than me.
Baiklah, aku ajak ngobrol deh orangnya.
Yeah, it's about time he actually told us what's going on. Wanna come with us, Liddy?
No, please go on without me. I don't want to leave just yet.
Lenny.
The logical part of my brain is aware that we're safe right now, but I still can't bring myself to leave. Both of you are just in danger.
Understood. Then let's just sit together for a while. In that case, I'll leave the infirmary to you. The Traveler and I are going to head out for now. As long as you stay in here, I don't think you'll be disturbed.
Thank you.
Kita ngeping dulu.
I'm so sorry, Lenny.
I'm also really sorry, Lenny. I should have been more careful.
Don't say that. It was all my fault. I was the one who should have been more careful.
If I was stronger, maybe I would have already found Master Child.
No, how can you say that?
Huh?
I'm sorry.
What I'm hearing is, we all dropped the ball at some point during the mission, so the responsibility falls on all of us.
Yeah, that's right. It's on all of us.
Lenny, we understand that you're worried about us, but we're worried about you as well. Please don't blame yourself.
Yeah.
Indahnya persaudaraan kalian. Apakah aku bisa join, guys? Guys, kalian mau angkat aku jadi adik keempat kalian nggak? Adik keempat. Lini mau angkat aku jadi adik ketiga nggak? Mau nggak? Ya sudahlah. Kita nggak dianggap saudara guys sama mereka. Kita lanjut aja deh. Asik, ketemu Rio lagi. Bukan ini salah Nami ngejar Rio mulu ini. Kurang ajar Niko. Ya maaf, abis. Rio lebih menggoda. Maaf ya Line, tapi Rio tuh husbu kedua aku di Genshin setelah Child. Jadi maaf ya Line. Hampir jatuh kena karma Line tau. Untung nggak jadi mati Diona gua. Kita ke kantornya Rio lagi ya, ke kantor ayang. Let's go. Ke kantor ayang. Ngomong sama Abang Rusli dulu.
Excuse me.
Padahal ayangnya hampir jadi villain. Enggak, itu bukan villain dia. Rio tuh nggak villain, Andre, nggak villain dia. Tidak, aku menolak Rio itu villain. Tapi kan nggak villain kan, akhir-akhirnya juga. Berarti ya aman lah, masih green flag lah Rio itu.
I take it Mr. Fremine's condition has stabilized?
Of course. I wouldn't have left the infirmary otherwise.
I've been expecting those two, but might I inquire as to the purpose of your visit, Miss Sijuin?
I wanted to check up on Miss Clarand. How are you feeling?
Mostly fine, I think.
If you don't mind, I'd like to perform another quick physical exam. It'll just take a few minutes.
All right. Thank you for looking out for me. I'll take my leave for now then.
Lah, kan mau diperiksa dulu. Oh iya, dibawa ke klinik. Oh, I see.
Well, want to explain yourself, Risley?
Of course. I'm not partial to the word choice of explain. How about enlighten?
Enlighten. Aduh, aku mau di enlighten nama kamu, Rosli. Ya ampun, ganteng banget sih, guys. Aduh, pusing gue sama ayang gue yang satu ini. Terserah, silahkan klarifikasi sampai puas. Aku mau kok dengerin kamu klarifikasi sampai puas. Ya?
Where should I begin? How about you start by asking me any questions you have? You can start with whichever one you'd like to get answered the most.
Silahkan.
Then Paimon will begin. Did you know about Lenny's goals from the very beginning?
Raul ngeteh. Iya, aku pengen Oh iya benar juga aku. Oh iya, kenapa kita nggak sambil minum teh aja, Rusli, biar kita bisa mengobrol dengan santai. Yuk, aku mau ngeteh juga dong. Tunjukkan koleksi teh kamu dong.
No. I just knew they were Fatui operatives sent to the fortress by the Knave. As for their specific goals, I only figured those out as you made progress on your investigation.
You managed to monitor and stay ahead of them even though you didn't know what they were trying to do?
They came here with ulterior motives. I'm quite adept at discerning what that kind of behavior signals. Initially, I thought their goal was just to investigate Child's disappearance. Linny suggested that I had deliberately let him escape, but in truth, I didn't really do anything special to help or hinder him while he was here. Everything he did, from finding helpers to leaving this place, he did on his own.
Buset, Child pinter banget.
Of course, it's inevitable that the Knave would make a big deal out of her fellow Harbinger's unexplained disappearance. I'm also quite curious about where that Harbinger went, so I figured I might as well let the Fatui do their own investigative work. All I care about is the answer.
So you were hoping Lenny's group would just do your work for you?
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. I assume that Fremine has told you already, the ratio of primordial seawater around the fortress of Meripede is on the rise. The Forbidden Zone has always been Linny's target, and you got roped into that investigation after running into him. I began to intervene out of concern for your safety, and also to prevent the fortress from becoming entangled in more irksome matters.
Are the rumors true? That you're also a former criminal?
Paimon, jangan to the point apa kalau nanya. Jadi gosipnya bener kamu juga mantan kriminal. Enak banget nanyanya, ya ampun, asal jeplak aja sih Paimon. Harusnya jangan ditinggalin sendiri nih Nami sama Rio. Terlalu berbahaya. Kurang ajar kamu Niko ya. Bukannya Rio yang berbahaya, Nami yang berbahaya. Auto diterkam dari belakang si Rio. Buset. Waduh, aku sih gak masalah ya diterkam sama Rio ya. Apalagi aduh. Terima kasih kopi susu hangatnya ya. Ada yang donate, thank you for the donation ya. Aduh, kalau ada scene kayak gitu, aduh mantep banget gak sih itu. Aduh, sorry guys, salting. Sebentar aku lihat donasi di Untar ya. Tadi ada yang donasi. Aduh, gila, coba ada ya. Ada siapa ini? Bi, makasih ya 5 kopi susu hangatnya. Oke, kita lanjut lagi guys. Aduh, kalau nggak terlalu berbahaya aku jadi memikirkan yang tidak seharusnya aku pikirkan.
Why would you put it like that? Isn't staying here all day and serving as the manager of the fortress a kind of sentence unto itself? Another form of prison? I just happen to have some support from the rest of the inmates. That's all.
Okay.
Oh, right! Paimon wanted to ask, who invited Cloran down here?
Me, of course. I paid her good mora to come down to the fortress for some field work.
Mukanya kok kayak melas banget. Seriously, ya udah makanya jangan undang Klorin, undang aku aja. Aku mau kok dateng gratisan cuman buat ketemu kamu, buat datengin kamu, buat ngetes sama kamu. Ya.
As a champion duelist, Miss Cloran could be considered to be an independent party. I needed to find an exceptionally capable person to help me get through the impending crisis.
Okay.
And saving Fremine was part of that crisis?
You can think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due, that boy is quite adept at diving. Had conditions not been as hostile as they were, he probably would have found the missing harbinger already.
Apa ada di dalamnya?
That's not something you should be asking after. Neuvillette only asked you to investigate Child's whereabouts.
Aduh, mukanya serem banget, Bang. Tapi nggak apa-apa, Bang. Aku tetap ganteng kok.
All I need to prove to you is that the Forbidden Zone had nothing to do with the harbinger's disappearance. That should be clear now that you've spoken to Fremine.
But we've already uncovered that there's something wrong with the infirmary, and we've answered a bunch of questions that you threw at us. Isn't it about—
You make a compelling case. Do you really want to know the answer that badly?
Iya. Aku mau tahu jawabannya.
Yeah, Paimon really wants to know.
Ya, aku juga keponya.
Even if the truth may not be pleasant?
Iya.
Follow me.
Ya ampun, kita diajak, guys. Kita dibawa kemana, guys? Ya. Mungkin yang mendekati itu anime Imoto Saareba Irebai itu apaan? Jadi sipir juga termasuk hukuman. Iya, Raul. Apa nih Stellar nih? Cuma bedanya itu kan anime seputar penulis novel. Nah, ada tuh yang naksir sama MC dan 11-12. Oke. Gas, bawa tanah ya. Let's go, Raul. Let's go all. Kita ke bawah. Oh iya, sorry. Tadi pas tengah dialog ada yang donasi lagi. Namanya Bi. Saya hanya penumpang gelap. Makasih Bi donasinya. Enggak kok, kamu nggak penumpang gelap. Kamu muncul aja di chat, nggak apa-apa kok. Biar nggak jadi penumpang gelap. Oh, bawa tanah guys. Ya bener kata Raul, bawa tanah.
There's a hidden door here? And a whole basement behind it? Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, Risley.
It seems you've forgotten just what kind of place the Fortress of Meripede is. Stand on the central plate.
Oke, Abang.
Wait, is there a secret mechanism or—
Terima kasih kopi susu hangatnya ya.
So, this is the Forbidden Zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, Paimon sure doesn't see anything special.
Itu.
What a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's allowed to go inside. Hence the name Forbidden. Am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little Fatui friends everything?
Well, Paimon wasn't thinking of keeping anything from them.
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've seen the whole truth of this place for yourself before deciding whether or not to tell them.
Oke. Makasih donasinya, Bi. Ini saya muncul, maksud aku nggak apa-apa juga sih kamu muncul di traktir, aku senang loh. Tapi kamu boleh juga kok JB di live chat juga, kita ngobrol-ngobrol bareng. Let's go. Tempat trio nyimpan koleksi terlarang ya. Oh, koleksi apa tuh? Nggak yang aneh-aneh kan? Padahal Meropite aja ada di bawah tanah. Iya juga ya. Apa di bawah tanah? Ini definisi di bawah tanah, masih ada bawah lagi, Raul. Ayo kita. Apa nih?
So there's a switch on the side.
Ada saklar di pinggirnya toh.
Stand back.
Mundur. Oke, Abang.
Whoa! They all just went up one by one.
Apa tuh yang di tengah?
Go on, have a look.
Kita JB dulu. Ruangan ini kosong melompong. Aneh sekali. Ada alat di tengah, bentuknya mirip pintu air.
I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meripede. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it. But it'd also be risky and negligent to simply ignore any potential danger that could be behind it. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. But over the past, normally I would have ignored it. But I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Any guesses what the reading could be tracking?
Tekanan air.
Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of those as well. Unfortunately, our dashboard is tracking something less ordinary. The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran a few tests to increase the pressure from the outside, but the readings didn't change at all. Later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection with the primordial sea. I began to make a few preparations based on that hypothesis. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that and the symptoms that Fremine displayed after leaving the fortress, I can now confidently conclude that the readings represent the concentration of primordial seawater in the seawater nearby.
Ah.
The concentration of primordial seawater? But we're already under the sea!
And that is precisely the problem. We're at the bottom of the sea, and now we're surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, primordial seawater got mixed in, and the concentration is steadily rising.
Air lautan primordial bocor ke laut.
Yes, that's very likely.
Oh my god, serem banget gak sih kalau orang Fontaine nyelam?
But forget about the two of us. Not even Novelette knows where the primordial sea could be, much less where we could find and plug a leak. Oh.
Seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have risen significantly, and it's now very close to us. The indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial seawater has already leaked out and mixed into the sea around us. If this continues, soon it will no longer be able to hold back the primordial sea at all.
Fontaine akan jatuh bersama dengan robohnya pintu ini. Oh my god, serem banget ini guys. Kayak kiamat kecil di Fontaine.
Yeah, you know what the legends say. If this place falls, then everyone in Fontaine will be turned into puddles in the span of a night.
But that's just too weird! Why would the Fortress of Meripede be built right above a sluice gate for the primordial sea? Who built this place anyway?
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of a vast, complicated conspiracy. To be honest, you might find the actual answer may be exceedingly boring. It's just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation before I rediscovered it with my research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meripede in any traditional sense. What we know about its history has been left to us by the people who used to live here. When the previous Hydro Archon Egeria ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The people drove the criminals away like a wolf pack chasing away the banished. The criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. They were exiled to the desolate seaside, where they experienced only pain, struggle, and the bone-chilling cold. Some of them began to repent, and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea and began to build a fortress. They became a community down there in the deeps, and over the years helped it to grow. As the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. When the first group of exiles died, they left the yet unfinished fortress to their successors. The Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for to continue growing ever larger. Before long, this dark underwater fortress became the sinner's only home. And with that, the people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves as repenting sinners who would regain their freedom once they had sufficiently redeemed themselves. But as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was a lonely place. Once they had gotten used to life here, they could no longer feel comfortable living in the overworld. Once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their withered souls fade away with the ancient secrets of the past. After many, many centuries, few people still remember the reason for the fortress's founding. Now they just see it as an integral pillar of Fontainian society, as the place where criminals deserve to be sent. Now and again, researchers manage to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress. I learned all this from an elderly historian. Everyone else just thought he'd made it all up.
But now you know every part of that history is true.
Indeed. It's just as the prophecy says. If this gate fails, then everyone will be dissolved into the sea.
Kamu percaya ramalan?
To be frank, not really. But sadly, that hasn't stopped this prophecy from proving all too accurate.
Aduh, ganteng banget sih, Bang.
Prophecies are troublesome things. Just hearing one will create the first wave of panic. Seeing signs of it will bring about the second, and actually witnessing it in real time, the third.
Emang bener sih, aku setuju kok ramalan bikin panik. Oke. Hati-hati, banyak sepu di bawah tanah. Sepu apa, Raul? Pasti ini temanya The Journey to the Center of the Earth versi Teyvat. Ya juga ya, ya juga ya Niko jadi Atlantis. Oke, Stellar. Apa santai dulu aja, Stellar. Jadi, apa rencanamu sebagai Duke Benteng Meropai?
Let's go somewhere else. I want to show you something.
Oke.
This is it.
Bi, live chat saya hilang. Iya, Bi. Hilang live chatnya. Kok bisa? Kok bisa? Kok bisa hilang? Kamu usernya apa, Bi? Aku nggak ngapa-ngapain kok. Enggak sih, Bi. Tadi katanya hilang live chat saya hilang si Bi. Kena shadow ban kali. Iya kali ya. Gimana cara ketahuan banget gak pernah ngehandle ginian. Gimana ya biar nggak, coba aku cek deh. Aku tidak nge-ban siapapun loh. Coba pakai akun lain. Oh iya tuh Bi, coba deh pakai akun lain deh. Aku nggak nge-ban siapapun soalnya. Kok bisa kamu ini kena ban? Padahal aku nggak ngapa-ngapain. Oke, kita lanjut ya. Kata Morgan sih kemungkinan kamu kena shadow ban, Bi. Coba pakai akun lain deh. Kalau beneran kena shadow ban, ntar aku coba cari deh solusinya gimana biar kamu muncul. Iya, coba ditutup dulu, Bi, app-nya. Oke, kita lanjut ya, guys ya.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results from our last round of experiments have...
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone!
Huh? Lorvine and Jurier?
No need to panic, you two. I've already told them about our plan.
What? After you warned us not to tell a single soul about any of this?
I'm skeptical as well. Are you sure they are trustworthy?
The results speak for themselves, don't they? These two may already know more than you could ever imagine.
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for now.
Well, how about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin. I trust that you've heard of Edwin?
Edwin? Nggak tahu, lupa.
He's the one who blew the whole institute sky high. Everyone knew he was a bit crooked in the head, but you're not local, so I guess it's possible for you not to have heard of him.
Edwin's main areas of research were archeum and gravimeters. As his assistant, Jurier is quite familiar with them as well. I hired him to be my technical consultant.
You want to blow up the fortress of Meripede?
What a lovely idea. I'm already imagining it in my head.
Enggak, itu bukan ide bagus. Dan kenapa kamu tersenyum kayak gitu? Aduh, tapi kamu tersenyum kayak gitu juga ganteng kok, Bang.
Gotta admit, I'm tempted as well.
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant, she used to be Jurier's assistant.
Ooh, are they together?
Oh, cie, ternyata mereka pacaran.
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a couple and just using your work as a convenient cover?
Mukanya Rio tuh kayak smuk-smuk gitu.
Your Grace, I am not in a relationship with this man.
If I dated her, I'd officially be madder than Edwin.
Alah, ntar benci-benci suka. Tipikal pasangan manga shoujo pada umumnya lah. Yang awal-awal, aku benci sama dia. Terus tahu-tahu lah, ujung-ujungnya cie jadi suka gitu. Ada perasaan doki-doki. Apa ini? Iya kan, yakin kan Kuro? BTW welcome to Namikai channel Kuro. Semoga kamu menikmati streamku di sini ya. Niko, Sundere. Iya, Sundere banget nih berdua emang. Pasangan Sundere ntar tau-tau jadian.
Jeez, forget I said anything then.
Mukanya. Ya ampun, mukanya mau ngapain aja ganteng banget sih Rio, ya ampun.
Follow me.
Oke.
Whoa, there's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
Kamu dikit-dikit wow, dikit-dikit wih. Emang Paimon tuh suka lebay Rio, biarin aja udah.
Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
Ini cuma ruangan biasa.
Well, let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
Apaan nih?
What a huge ship! This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before. What's going on?
How much do you know about Fontanian history?
Ya nggak tahu lah. Baru datang berapa hari? Baru datang berapa minggu?
Not much at all.
Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria. To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian dynasty. According to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, the Fortuna, he called his nation Lemuria and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes and islands, calling on them to join his empire.
There's a ship in this story too?
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found at the end of a voyage.
Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my disposal. Certainly can't hurt to give it a try. So the moment I began to speculate that the primordial sea might lie underneath the gate, I also began this project.
Were you inspired by the legendary Fortuna?
Maybe. Fontanians need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster.
Kenapa nggak diumumkan ke semua orang?
Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortress's administrator, I'd never make such a reckless call. Alright, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another 3 cups of tea to soothe my throat. Do you have any other questions?
Teh lagi. Aduh bang, sumpah deh kalau kita nikah ya bang. Ntar aku kasih mahar teh sekotak, 2 kotak, apa 3 kotak gitu ya. Pasti kamu suka kan, ya ampun. Ngeteh mulu. Biasa Paimon kan orang kampung. Orang kampung, Raul. Ya juga sih, kayak bener sih Paimon tuh lebay banget. Kayak dia tuh wawo aja dari tadi. Setiap ke tempat baru juga wawo.
Seems like you're good. Come on, I'll take you back.
Oke, aku mau ngeteh. Akhirnya aku ngeteh guys sama Abang Rio. Akhirnya aku ngeteh sama teteh Sunda ini mah. Teteh Sunda siapa?
I'll leave you
teteh
here for
Sunda?
now.
Aku tinggal dulu ya.
Thank you so much.
Mana adegan ngetehnya? Aku tidak melihat adegan ngeteh. Parah nih.
No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw. What you do from here on out will likely affect those 3 as well.
Artinya pilihanku akan menentukan langkah kelompok lain di selanjutnya. Dan kata lain, kalau aku ceritakan pada lainnya, aku harus bisa jamin dia tidak akan bikin gara-gara.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it for sure.
Oke.
Great. I look forward to what happens next.
Oke. Oke. Kita balik dulu guys ke klinik. BTW, jangan-jangan Morgan ngira aku teteh Sunda apa gimana?
We're back!
Kami sudah kembali. Okay.
Welcome back. Do you want a cup of tea?
How can you be so much like Risley, always drinking tea?
Nggak apa-apa. Teh itu sehat loh, Paimon. Aku juga suka ngeteh kok tiap pagi, tapi lebih banyak ngopi sih daripada ngeteh.
Huh. Actually, now that you mention it, I just remembered something now. While I was sedated, I could still barely hear two people talking next to me. They were discussing everything, from the leaves to the water and even the teacups themselves.
Must have been Risley and Sijun.
Yeah, I heard one male voice and one female, so it should have been the two of them. They really were just talking about brewing tea.
Ya itu mah Chlorine sama Risley lah udah.
I really can't make sense of this place.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn anything from Risley?
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations?
Kita ini dulu guys. Apa kita khawatir dulu sama Line? Udah baikan belum kamu?
Yeah, I took the time to rest, so I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now.
Nobody else is around, and Miss Sijun is also busy with something or other, so let's just talk here.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory is, the long-lost primordial sea is probably very close to the fortress of Mirapede.
Ooh, he's good. He got...
That's our Lenny.
Secondly, Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first, then suddenly roadblocked us. Why? I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning, he probably ignored us at first because he was hoping we could find Master Child for him. What's more, the Fortress of Mirapede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex Nervilet. Risley is basically the king of a no-man's land. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the two factions are pitted against each other, Risley will be free to move between the parties of interest. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary, but I just can't think of what it could be.
Pengamatan yang hebat.
You're super smart.
Yoi, nggak kayak kamu, Maimon. Jahat banget.
Thanks so much. Then finally, there's the last question. If Risley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan probably has something to do with the changing nature of the seawater. He's even gotten Cloran to help him out. That can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. He has a bargaining chip, and it could be important enough for Father to deal with him directly. I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what his chip might be. But let me guess. You have the last piece of the puzzle.
Oke, kita bercerita bla bla bla.
I can't believe it.
The sea will engulf everyone, just like the prophecy said.
Could Risley have wanted to meet Father to figure out a way to deal with this crisis? If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operations, and she truly wants to resolve the crisis. But how could Risley have known that?
Or perhaps he didn't know and just wanted to bring Father over to his side, which could be why he said he just wanted to negotiate.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. I'll figure out a way to pass this on to our father. No matter what, we're on your side.
Makasih Nini.
The two of you have already aided us far too much. We probably wouldn't be standing here right now if not for you. If you ever need anything else going forward, please come to the House of the Hearth at any time. Though you may not share the sentiment, after all that we've gone through together, the three of us basically see you as family now.
Kita udah dianggap keluarga guys, kita diakuin juga.
You have my gratitude.
Thank you for protecting Linny when it really mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of the fortress with us. We didn't think you were going to do it.
Akhirnya kita mulai percaya sama ketiga saudara ini guys.
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden?
Kita bisa kerja sama lagi lain kali.
Given your strength, you might not need our help at all. But if you are ever in danger, we will try our best to protect you.
The sound of that makes Paimon feel all warm and safe inside.
Sama Paimon, tapi aku bisa kok melindungi diriku sendiri. Tapi nggak apa-apa, aku juga mau sih. Ya ampun, Paimon, di saat seperti ini kamu lapar.
Paimon's hungry.
Bener-bener.
You've done so much already. Go get some food.
Alright, then we'll catch you guys another time.
Fix jadi adik ketiga. Iya nih, Raulin kita jadi adik ketiga dari mereka. Ya, jadi adik ketiga. Mantep BGM penjaranya yang ini. Iya Neo, aku dari tadi dengerin juga mantep banget sih. Tehnya masih dibahas. Gak, bukan Rusli namanya kalau nggak bahas teh, Raul. Let's go. Sejak kapan aku pakai Diona? Kita harus pakai narapidana yang kabur ini dulu.
No time to lose.
Kita naik lift lagi. Konten banyak banget lift. Sampai di penjara juga ada lift. Kita naiknya yang ini ya, yang normal ya guys. Naik dengan turun dengan cara normal ya guys, bukannya loncat. Nah, ayo buka. Oke. Kita tutup. Nah, nikmatin muka Calt nih guys. Gila, ganteng banget gak sih? Lagi pakai Polar Star makin meningkat kegantengannya itu. Oke. Jadi dedek Nami. Iya nih Kuro, aku diangkat jadi dedeknya Linet sama Freminet. Muka buron. Kurang ajar Andrea, tapi bener sih dia buron, tapi nggak apa-apa lah. Buron tapi tetap ganteng dan slay, why not?
It's time for dinner. Welfare meals now being served at the coupon cafe.
Come on, let's go pick up ours as well.
Traveler and Paimon, over here.
Are you here for dinner too, Miss Sijwin?
And I'm taking the opportunity to prepare Miss Cloran's dinner as well.
Huh. You're right. She's actually sitting in the fortress cafeteria.
What would you like to eat?
Hah? Boleh milih?
Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd like.
Oke, sip. Aku minta yang paling enak lah.
Me too. Don't forget Paimon.
No problem. Just leave it to me.
Syuk. Dimasak dulu, guys. Syuk. Cek. Pring.
So delicious.
Enak. Mantap jiwa.
Paimon's so happy. Paimon wants to feast like this every day.
Feeling full yet? How's the food?
Delicious.
Sangat lezat. Terima kasih si kunyit, my loli.
I'm so glad to see you all so happy. Oh, see the expression on your face just now? The muscle here just moved, which suggests that you're feeling quite relaxed at the moment.
Buset, detail amat sih Queen liatnya.
Sijwin, do you do this to help your patients or to better understand human beings?
A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a Melazine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to take good care of you.
You're really good at taking care of people. Even though you're so short, you still talk and act like an older sister.
Really? You're reminded of an older sister? That's great to hear.
Oh, and what did you mean back in Risley's office? When you said that you were protecting Linny and his siblings as well?
Oh, that. I just asked His Grace to look out for those children, especially that diver boy. I was getting a bit worried after hearing that something was wrong with the water. Thankfully, Glorand is very strong and managed to save him in the nick of time. His Grace also sealed the pipes after Glorand left, to make sure that Linny wouldn't impulsively chase after his brother. Although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. They were instructed to only open the door once Miss Glorand had returned. Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Mr. Linny as well. We had to press him, but we couldn't allow him to be in any real danger.
You were all super considerate and really thought everything through.
It's just what we do down here at the fortress. At least this has been His Grace's style for as long as he's been the leader. Oh, I really wish Monsieur Nervula would come down here more often too. I feel like he'd like it here, with all the darkness and chaos.
Buset, kamu serem banget sih Queen. Kok aneh ya, susah loh membayangkan New Fleet ada di luar kantornya.
Get a good night's rest, you two. You both worked very hard.
Buset, itu Klorin gak diajak ngobrol juga. Kasihan amat dah. Klorin, ngomong dong. Klorin.
Glorand!
Ah, it's you two.
How's dinner?
It's all right. Miss Sijwin really put in a lot of effort.
So we heard that Risley invited you to come down to help, and you saved Fremine too! You sure work super fast!
Kok kamu muji, ya gimana ya? Ya seneng sih dipuji, tapi kayak aneh gak sih, kayak kerja bagus. Dibilang kerja bagus sama Paimon, ya kan emang dia gimana ya Paimon, dia emang kuat lah Paimon.
Oh, it was child's play.
Wih, the child's play doang katanya.
Still, Paimon didn't know even champion duelists could take on side jobs. Oh, and why aren't you eating with Sijwin and the Duke? Won't you get bored eating by yourself?
Iya tadi padahal kamu bisa makan bareng aku loh, tuh lihat mukamu. Ih gila cakep banget. Kamu makan bareng aku aja kalau misalnya nggak mau bareng si Queen sama si Rio.
Miss Sijwin was with you, and the Duke has business of his own.
Ya makanya kamu tadi JB-JB aja Klorin, kenapa harus sendirian gitu?
Actually, didn't Navia say that you went out for dinner with her as well?
Waduh, kita gibahin Navia dong. Rela buron juga demi Ayang. Ya dong Morgan, aku rela buron, tapi cuma di Taifat doang. Cuma di Taifat doang, tidak di real life.
Yeah. First time in a long time.
First time in a long time? So you mean you've gone out to dinner with her in the past?
Ah, Klorin.
In the past, yes.
Ah.
You seem to be enjoying yourselves here.
Berkat New Village.
Things will be getting messy at the fortress soon. Don't run around unnecessarily.
Iya. Oh, hilang guys. Apakah Klorinnya teleport? Ya sudahlah. Tunggu. Aku mau istirahat. Apakah kira-kira kita dapat mimpi lagi guys? Ya, seperti biasa ya guys, tiap masuk ke lift kita memandangi muka Child dulu yang tampan ini. Ya ampun, ganteng banget sih bang. Ya bang Child. Kapan ketemunya sekarang? Kita bobok dulu guys. My primo is ready.
So much has happened. Paimon just feels absolutely exhausted now that she's finally relaxed.
Teteh naviate. Teteh ngeteh naviate. Baliklah. Aduh Stellar. Iya, yang besar tekadnya. Iya, yang besar tekadnya. Tadi topinya juga besar. Oh, Neo udah siap ya Primo. Aku juga udah sih kalau buat si Rio.
Paimon's super sleepy. Are you sleepy too?
Iye. Ayo turu. Buset. Gak ada angin, gak ada hujan langsung bobo. Kok aneh banget sih Paimon tidurnya. Aneh banget sumpah kalau ngelihat si Paimon napak gitu loh. Napak di kasur atau napak di lantai itu kayak aneh kalau ngelihat dia nggak terbang gak sih? Aneh banget kalau ngelihat dia nggak terbang. Dia langsung pulas dong. Hebat.
Delicious. Paimon wants seconds for free.
Kurang ajar Paimon, gak mau bayar pula. Tidurnya Paimon kayak mesin Supra. Bapak-bapak. Ngoroknya itu ya Stellar. Selamat tidur. Mimpi lagi nggak? Yuk mimpi yuk. Mimpiin ayang aku yuk.
Get out of my way! What happened? Why is everyone running? No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking.
Ya kita nggak mimpiin ayang child. Ya kecewa.
Who's yelling? Paimon still wants to sleep.
Suara apa itu? Paimon bangun, lihat ada apa di luar. Aku jadi penasaran.
No time to lose.
Lagi deh.
What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey, what are you doing?
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye.
Lah.
Hey, what's wrong with these people? They won't even talk to us.
Ya berarti kalau nggak bisa ngomong ada sesuatu yang terjadi, Paimon. Kita harus kabur.
They're here. Yeah, there you are.
Oh, thank goodness.
Dua gibah.
Quisto and Laveroon, do you know what happened here?
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone terribly wrong just now. His Grace is telling everyone to evacuate and get out of here. Laveroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? An evacuation is successfully completed, yet you only find out once you do a head count that 1 or 2 people are missing.
Ya udah kita harus kabur, bukannya banyak ngomong.
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up? Why is it suddenly my idea?
Lagian ya kamu tahu nggak sih temanku tuh si Duk aja teman gua loh.
Hey, shut up.
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us.
Yang mulia suruh evakuasi keluar.
Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible, upwards and outwards.
Berarti sesuatu terjadi di bawah sana. Wah gawat, gerbang itu ada di paling bawah.
Oh no, it can't be that thing.
Whoa, wait, what? What? Hey, where you go?
We have to go find the Duke. You two just go and get out. Go on without us.
Gila, kita dianggap gak ada temen.
Be careful.
Walau tukang gibah tapi tetap solid. Iya Morgan, keren banget ya. Barusan ngakak brutal pas dengerin kita mah. Berarti ada sesuatu. Iya nih. Kita harus mengetahui dulu sesuatunya apa ini Stellar. Iya. Ayang. Gak usah lewat lift lah, bodo amat. Aku lebih khawatir Ayang daripada harus lewat lift. Terjun lebih mantap. Oke. Aduh, kenapa gak lari? Ayo, kita harus temui si Ayang. Ayang Rio. Masuk juga, guys. Oh, kita pergi ke itu. Yang ada kapalnya itu.
They're here.
Just like I said.
What happened?
You're just in time. But be ready to run.
Ya ampun, kita udah lari. Udah kesini terus lari lagi. Capek deh. Bocor. Awas bang. Anjay. GG bang. GG sekali. Mantap kali bang. Lah masih ada yang bocor. Saatnya lari. Ayo awas bang.
3, 2, 1.
Ayo bang, oh pasti bisa. Anjay, keren banget. Gila. Yang aku tidak larut, guys.
Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to collapse.
Then what will happen to you?
Until he arrives, we're the last line of defense. The gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on us.
Oh my god. Shipable gak sih ini Clorin sama Rio? Tapi Rio lebih cocok sama aku sih. Dan Clorin kamu sama Navia aja, Clorin, jangan sama Rio ya. Aduh. Wah, Brochard cosplay jadi Batman. By the way, Nami tahu nggak Gotham City? Iya kak.
Why are you here?
Iya kak, Gotham City kak. Sampai tumpe-tumpe. Iya Morgan, aku kaget. Aku pada bubang. Iya, a will forge in eyes, never falters. Apaan tuh Andre? Aku padamu pun. Aku rom malah ngalu ini anak. Ya nggak apa-apa lah, halu itu menyenangkan dan sehat.
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House immediately.
Lah, ngapain bang?
Farina will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Farina and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her.
Iya, tapi jelasin dulu.
Will do. You have my sincerest gratitude.
Oke. Ya, lagi di tengah. Mana nih? Ada Patui.
Look, there are a ton of Fatui and Palais Mermonia people over there. The knave is probably here already. We need to hurry. Are you two the traveler in Paimon? Monsieur Neuvillette has left instructions. Please follow me. Though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be a mostly cordial conversation, unlikely to give rise to violence. But it would be most appreciated if you could protect Lady Farina to the best of your abilities.
Iya, aku usahakan. Itu sebenarnya aku galon yang nge-cosplay jadi air primordial. Enggak, warnanya beda tapi lah nggak tahu Andre. Padahal sama-sama air. Padahal lagi urgent malah lagunya damai. Iya juga ya. Bener juga Stellar. Kayak kok damai amat.
So you two are the honored guests Miss Farina mentioned.
Iya juga sih Stellar, kok kayak lagunya damai. Tiba-tiba kayak beda atmosfernya tuh berbeda jauh gitu loh dari kita ditegang jedak jeduk tahu-tahu iya jadi kalem.
Of course. How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table. Otherwise, the occasion would be too lonely and unbecoming of my station.
Udah deh, kamu jangan banyak bacot deh, Furina. Diam aja.
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the Knave, one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers.
The Knave, kepala House of the Earth dan Ayaline dan saudara-saudarinya. Dia bukan orang sembarangan. Senang sekali bisa berjumpa.
I've already prepared seats for you. Come, sit beside me.
Mukanya senang banget.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea when we had the time.
Aku boleh ajak Rio juga nggak biar dia ikutan ngeteh juga gitu, Nave.
See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores. There are only 16 slices sold every day. Here, why don't you and Paimon have a taste?
Oke. Dia kelihatannya ramah, tapi aku tidak yakin dan Nave bukan sosok yang boleh dianggap remeh. Waspada.
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
Suka.
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do share a taste in desserts with Farina and I.
Ya Cat ngomongin aku guys, ya ampun. Gila ya Cat, walaupun kita sudah lama tidak bersama, kamu tetap ngasih tahu aku tentang ke orang-orang. Aduh senang banget aku Cat. Semoga kamu cepat ditemukan Child. Aku akan menemukanmu Child. Tenang aja ya ayangku yang pertama. Halu banget. Pada apa Arlecchino. Yoi Arlecchino. Pengen saya culik, astaga. Pengen diculik ke Stellar. Hati-hati Arlecchino sama Stellar. Dia mau nyulik kamu. Tapi apakah Stellar lebih kuat dari Arlecchino? Aku malah khawatir Stellar malah ini meninggoy duluan. Apa? Tidak mungkin Cal tiba-tiba ngomong begitu. Ya bisa jadi.
I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know. Here's to hoping that he's an excellent swimmer.
Aku percaya kemampuannya. Aku percaya kemampuan ayangku.
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His martial prowess really looked certainly pretty impressive, yeah.
Furina kelihatan tegang. Sepertinya hubungan dan Neve tidak sesederhana itu.
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Udex Nuvillette right in front of you. Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. I must express my admiration for Monsieur Nuvillette.
Jejaknya sudah ketemu.
Coming from you, that's not surprising at all.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier. As you well know, a long time has passed since Child disappeared.
Waduh.
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for sure that Child is still alive.
Iya dong, dia pasti masih hidup lah.
Oh, and just how do you know that?
Kok kamu gak percaya gitu?
Because we found evidence that proved he left the Fortress of Meripede.
And where did he go after leaving the fortress?
Well...
Duh, Paimon salah ngomong.
The Fortress of Meripede lies deep beneath the waves. Unless he pranced right out of the main gate, he must have had to swim for it. Do you have any proof that he surfaced safely?
Tidak. Tapi tidak ada bukti dia terluka atau terbunuh.
That is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago. Since he was unfortunately unavailable, I picked it up on his behalf. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time in Snezhnaya together. I'm currently admiring the scenery on the streets in front of the opera house. Is it some...
Dia nggak kasih kendor sama sekali. Gimana cara meyakinkan dia? Coba alihkan perhatian dari Furina deh. Sepertinya sih.
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are accurate, it doesn't matter so much how it's written or how it's worded.
Hold on. The water in the teacup is shaking.
I suppose this is also a sign of things to come, Miss Farina.
I don't quite understand what you're trying to say.
Have we entered into the next stage of the prophecy?
My thanks to you both. I will take it from here.
Sure you don't need a hand?
Quite sure.
Wow. So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess. Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
Wah, gila, Nopal.
A day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day.
Wow.
This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race. A tsunami of fury would unleash endless catastrophe.
Oh my, keren banget.
This sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
Hah? Hukuman apa?
All right. Seems like the problem inside has been suppressed.
Let me guess. We're safe for now.
Indeed.
I win this bet. You owe me a present.
Waduh.
Very well. It was indeed just as you...
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I underestimated just how confidential the mission was.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
Sampai Nopal tuh hafal kebiasaannya si Rio.
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking about a set of legal codices.
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Ah, lucu banget. Moegep. Dia buta hukum, guys.
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested in the legal codices.
That was obviously a joke. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld, correct?
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Marmonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui Harbinger.
Amin.
I must say, we've spent long enough playing house. Miss Farina, as the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say, that's what I originally thought. But looking at your expression, was I wrong? And
what are you trying to say?
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontanian. You know the prophecy by heart, and also that every part of it is being proven true. Yet, here you are relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. Do you really think that's acceptable?
Lah, kan kamu yang ngajak minum teh sama makan kue, gimana sih?
The prophecy's hanging above our necks like a guillotine. Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster or save their own. Even the orphans of the House of the Hearth have devoted everything to saving their homeland. But you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
You're wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the gods with such absurd conjectures.
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn to protect supposed to survive in a land that will soon disappear beneath the waves?
Oh my god, ini voice actnya bagus banget.
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me.
Tumben kamu bijak. Tapi kamu juga suka ngehakimin orang seenaknya kok, Purina.
Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now, as long as I continue on as I am, I will be able to hold my head up high.
Purina beda dari biasanya. Dia benar-benar melawan tuduhan Menif. Ini bukan sandiwara. Ini sungguhan.
Then I ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing to help?
Bohong lagi, atau emang rahasia? Barusan dia bicara dengan penuh keyakinan, tapi sekarang kok jadi kempes seperti balon bocor.
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself. They will only reveal themselves at the fated time. It is just that beings like yourselves are unable to perceive them as of yet.
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond prying mortal eyes. Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as your emergency response plan for the impending disaster?
An emergency response plan?
Seperti biasa, guys. Purina tuh tong kosong nyaring bunyinya.
Oh, that look in your eyes. Have you not even prepared one of those?
The emergency response plan is also strictly confidential.
Bohong, bilang aja nggak punya rencana apa-apa.
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal?
Oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinal. Wih, tumben bisa ngomongnya lancar. Coba aku baca dulu deh. Lore, oh itu lore ya Kuro yang hukum-hukum itu. Hadiahnya Chlorine ngedate bareng sama Rio. Enggak lah, nggak mungkin mereka ngedate. Chlorine tuh punyanya Navia Stellar. Percakapan lebih panas ya Ju. Tapi tehnya nggak makin dingin Morgan. Tehnya tuh masih beruap, berarti masih panas. Udah kayak nonton opera dialognya. Yoi. Intinya mengulur waktu. Iya, dia ngulur-ngulur waktu. Karena sebenarnya dia nggak tahu juga, dia kayaknya nggak punya rencana apa-apa si Furina itu.
And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated over the years?
The orators? It's just like it appears to be.
Nah kan bener, dia udah mulai gagap nih si Furina.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. But unfortunately, it would seem that someone is not you, Miss Farina. I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the oratrice in the opera house. You see, even just getting close to the core contaminated him with an extremely large amount of indemnitium. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on, oh great Hydro Archon? Oh, right. I almost forgot. Udex Nuvilette is not at the tea party with us today.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly right. Please keep it a secret for me.
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side. Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please, help yourselves, everyone.
Ini bukan obrolan yang bisa dikomentari. Tugas Neuvillette apa saja aku tidak tahu. Tebakanku sih dia turun untuk mengurus lautan primordial. Tapi memangnya dia bisa apa ya? Furina juga. Dia jujur atau bohong?
Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who work hard deserve gratitude and praise. You too, Paimon.
Thank you. Paimon will take you up on that offer.
Ya, kita bahas-bahas dulu, bla 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 bla. Wih, abis tuh Morgan tuh udah diminum tuh tehnya.
Paimon's super full. That cake was great.
If it's on my tea table, it must be of the highest quality. Yes, and we must thank the knave for bringing these over as well.
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Farina's table. And I was merely catering to Miss Farina's tastes, seeking a chance to chat over tea. It is getting late. Why don't we call it a day? There are still a few matters that I need to take care of, so I must take my leave now.
Very well. We'll end it here.
Mind seeing me off, traveler? We could use the opportunity to discuss child before I must be on my way.
Baiklah.
Paimon's coming too.
Ya, udah malam guys. Udah jam segini. Kayaknya aku mau selesaiin stream aku dulu ya. Nanti ini kemungkinan aku lanjutnya itu di hari apa ya? Hari Jumat mungkin ya, nggak, kalau besok aku nggak tahu bisa apa enggak, tapi yang pasti mungkin ada tuh Jumat atau bentar aja kali yang ngikutin Deadnif ya. Gak apa-apa deh, aku tutup dulu aja deh biar kalian juga pada nggak kemalaman. Oke, kalau gitu sekian dulu stream dari Nami ya. Coba aku baca-baca live chat dulu dikit. Aduh, tapi nanti jadi nggak bisa co-op ya. Udah deh guys, bentar ya. Aku malah takutnya nggak bisa co-op. Kalau nggak bisa co-op, bingung juga saya. Bisa nggak ya? Tetap bisa co-op nggak ya? Ya udah deh. Sebenarnya saya tidak mau mengerjakannya. Saya takutnya udah kemalaman. Tapi kalau nggak bisa co-op, nggak bisa misi harian besok. Las. Abis ini baru aku udahan. Kita antar dulu deh. Tanggung gak sih? Aduh, nanggung sih, tapi udah malam guys.
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
Kurang ajar kamu ya.
That's what Paimon thought.
Mau ngomong apa lagi?
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. as their father, I would like to express my gratitude.
Aku nggak peduli.
Do I look like an irresponsible father to you?
Tidak ada hal lagi yang mau diomongin.
That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Linny, Lynette, and Fremine are still there, and I trust them.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to stop them, especially Linny.
You mean Ridesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Linny's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely on others. By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Furina?
Bahkan Harbinger aja bisa ngegosip, guys.
You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the fortress of Meripede.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused?
Ya dia kan gak sengaja juga.
Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Berarti bener-bener Child itu cuma buat liburan doang.
Do you require help with any preparations?
No need. I will take care of it myself. I need to meet with Furina, the Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that she often seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Enggak, Morgan, apa gagal Otsu? Judulnya pengaruh apa? Coba aku baca dulu deh dari atas. Tadi tuh udah kayak nonton telenovela sih, apalagi backsoundnya style Furina ada kayak sidang skripsi sama dosen killer. Iya, Neo. Jahat banget Stellar dibilang pakai jasa joki. Aduh, nanggung ya Dre sama Morgan ya. Ya udah kalau nanggung ya udah semoga habis ini nggak
Come
nanggung
over
ya.
here, you little critter, you.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Seksoy amat kamu Arlecchino.
You dare to run from me? Stop right this instant!
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Furina to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so easy, it's actually making me a bit suspicious.
Sumpil cuman gara-gara kucing doang.
Anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking the bait. After all, from the moment it was attached to the hook, the bait is meant to be sacrificed.
Ya ampun, Arlecchino walaupun disebut ayah besar ya, tekadnya besar.
It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydronosis is not currently held by the Archon. In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do? Please don't kill me. I'm begging you, please.
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. I suspect even Furina dares not mention this incident to anyone. Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Furina quietly cried alone. There's no doubt that there's something wrong with her. I began to entertain the possibility that she is not the true Hydro Archon. Perhaps Iudex Neuvillette is actually the genuine article.
Oh my god.
I have to find the Gnosis. If the Neuvillette hypothesis is correct, he is probably in possession of it. Alternatively, it might have been hidden in a place that's hard for ordinary people to access.
Yes, Father.
My dear children, please speak.
News from the fortress of Meripede. Master Child has gone missing. On top of that, the contacts and guards we bribed at the fortress have all gone quiet as well.
Probably the handiwork of that Wriothesley.
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. The value of a harbinger is much higher than most would imagine. We now have an excuse to exert diplomatic pressure on the Fontaine authorities. Set up a meeting for me. I would like to meet the Hydro Archon and Iudex Neuvillette. Oh, and I have an additional mission for you three.
Yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. With this as my excuse, I can ask for an official audience and continue my investigation of Farina and Iudex Neuvillette. The initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the fortress of Meripede will be a front. Linny and his group will be responsible for the actual intelligence gathering. You should know the rest. Linny's group is quite close to you, so they wouldn't have hidden anything from you.
You attacked the Hydro Archon?
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even Farina herself is still pretending that nothing of that sort ever happened.
Lah terus kenapa kamu bocorin? Ramping juga ya kursinya. Aduh. Kursi yang didudukin Arlecchino maksudnya. Bisa aja kamu Stellar.
Alright then.
I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Farina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that Iudex Neuvillette must be the Hydro Archon, but now, that doesn't seem right to me either.
Kesimpulan dari mana itu?
I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Iudex Neuvillette or Farina, neither fits the bill. It's hard to imagine either of them as the Archon.
Waduh, berarti Archon aslinya siapa dong?
Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require justification. It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land of my birth. Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface. It looks like Fontainians will have no choice but to save themselves. Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything else. Should the need arise, I would be happy to cooperate with you. You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday.
Wah, apakah Arlecchino akan menjadi playable karakter karena dia akan berada di pihak yang sama dengan kita?
He certainly returned quickly. You must want to catch up with each other, so I'll leave you to him.
Neuvillette, is it over?
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long term. I'm concerned that sooner or later the prophesized events will occur. Thank you for protecting Farina.
Boleh tahu apa yang terjadi di bawah sana?
To put it simply, I used my power to force back the primordial sea and reseal the sluice gate.
Kalau kami tadi... Wush, kita ceritain pas minum teh.
So as expected, the knave has turned up the pressure on Farina. She's trying to feel her out, though I'm still unsure as to her motives.
Boleh tanya sesuatu?
Permission granted.
Mau punya kekuatan untuk menekan lautan primordial.
Whoa. It can't be that you're the real Hydro Archon, right? But that's just a speculation on our part, though. You can't tell us? Then that's okay. We can talk about something else. We won't try to force you. You guys in Fontaine are super strange.
If by the phrase "you guys" you are referring to Furina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics.
Apa yang kamu rasakan di Benteng Meropite?
I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history. It has seen much grief and suffering. And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events.
Huh? Why is it raining all of a sudden?
Kan dia naga Archon, Paimon. Ratapi. Kok mukanya lucu sih? Mukanya si Nopal kayak melas gitu. Neophylet, jangan-jangan kamu.
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you thinking?
Dia naga hydro, penguasa air. Oh ya, naga hydro kok naga Archon.
The dragon of... what? Huh?
Please do not be so surprised. Furina? My apologies.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not actually the dragon sovereign of water, right? Well...
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Right, of course. We'll definitely help you keep it a secret. There's still something Paimon wants to ask you, though.
Please, go ahead.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, and you were able to force back the primordial sea from the fortress, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess. They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
There are 7 elemental Archons and 7 matching dragon sovereigns.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient history. In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns their elemental authority to me. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding another way to deal with the prophecy.
Oh, so even you can't solve it.
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you are welcome to discuss them with me at a later time.
Okay.
Please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, why don't we pay another visit? We'll see you another time.
Take care.
Wait, what? Waduh, kayaknya lama deh ini. Ya udahlah, kayaknya aku tutup dulu deh, guys. Aduh, kayaknya lama, kalian bilang nanggung. Udahlah, aku tutup dulu aja ya. Udah kemalaman, udah jam 11. Besok Senin, kalian pasti mau istirahat aja. Mau istirahat kan? Iya, beneran Otsuko kali ini. Lah beneran nanggung. Tadi aja itu udah berapa menit, Andre Rams. Kita lanjut hari Jumat aja ya kalau gitu. Nggak tahu sih antara Senin apa Jumat ya. Kayaknya kalau emang beneran nanggung mungkin Senin kali ya. Tapi kita lihat nanti ya. Aku karena Senin itu waktu hari yang gue rela nanti aku kabarin aja ya di Twitter sama di di YouTube community. Oke guys. Oke, BTW makasih ya yang masih ada di sini, makasih banyak. Sampai ya Neo, sampai sini dulu ya. Aku tuh khawatir kalian nanti kan besok Senin. Nanti malah besok ada kegiatan malah ngantuk. Kasihan. Iya, mending Jumat aja ya. Mending Jumat. Ya udah deh kalau gitu kita ketemunya Jumat lagi ya. Makasih banyak yang udah mau luangin waktu buat datang ke stream Nami, oke? Dan jadi Jumat aku masih nge-cosplay jadi Napi ya guys ya. Kalau gitu Otsu Nami Tsunami. Kalau gitu terima kasih. Oke Stellar. Kalau gitu Tsunami ya semua. Terima kasih sudah menonton. Dadah.